Morning students. Today in this video we are going to learn about chapter 7 of science, weather, climate and adaptations of animals to climate. As we know that weather plays an important role in our life. It tells us the changes that take place in atmosphere at a particular place and time. So in this chapter we are going to learn about what is weather, what is climate and what is the difference between weather and climate, then what are the meteorological department, what work do they do, then what do we mean by humidity and how the humidity and temperature they all play an important role in our weather and climate. So let's start. So first of all, as you can see here, we are going to start with the introduction. So how do they have an impact on our daily life? So weather and climate, they determine that what kind of clothes are we going to wear according to season or the climate. Then the next is mode of the transport that we are going to use. Then the types of food that is grow in particular area or region and what kind of food people eat in different places. So all the living organisms, they have adapted and survived themselves in the climatic condition of their natural habitat. And now this is really I think clear to all of you as we are facing COVID situation. So how we have adapted our studies as well as our eating habits due to the corona. So we too have made lots of adaptations. Now the first thing that we are going to learn, what is weather. So the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall and the wind is called the weather of that place. And the temperature, humidity and rainfall or the snowfall and the wind, they affect the weather. So that's why they are known as elements of the weather. And weather keep changes every day. Sometimes it's more warm, sometimes it's humid, sometimes cloudy, sometimes sunny. So here you can see in this picture, one is the picture that is showing that how the day is sunny, then windy. You can see the branches of the tree is moving here and there. Then cloudy, you can see lots of clouds in the sky, and rainy. Then next comes meteorology. So what do the meteorological department they work? So they check the humidity and the wind and then they gives weather forecast, right? When you are watching TV, you are watching news channels. At the end of the news, there are always weather forecast, and weather forecast specially tells us about the precautions that we have to take in case if heavy rainfall is there or any severe condition in the atmosphere. And the person who keep collecting the data on this, he or she is known as a meteorologist. Then what do we mean by the temperature? So as one by one we are going to learn about the elements of weather. So the first thing is temperature. So we have already heard about the temperature in our previous chapter also. And how do we check? With the thermometers, right? So the maximum temperature and minimum temperature. So the maximum temperature of the day will occur in the afternoon when the sun is overhead, and the minimum temperature in the early morning. Now some special thermometers which are specific used for the weather forecast, they are known as maximum and minimum thermometer. Now the second element that decide weather, that is humidity. So what do we mean by humidity? Humidity means the water vapor present in the air, and the device that is used to measure humidity, that is known as either psychrometer or hygrometer. Sometimes humidity is also measured using satellites also. Then what do we understand by the term rain? You might have term, that is precipitation. So what do we mean by precipitation? That is rain only. So how the water evaporates, then it gets condensed, and then when the clouds are heavy, then it starts raining. So the greater the humidity, there are the more chances of the rain. Then the cloudiness and the wind. So if the sky is full of cloud, so we can call it the cloudy day, and the wind is horizontal movement of the air, and it is named according to the which direction it is coming. So if it is coming from the north side, then we call it northern wind. If it is coming from south, then we will call it southern wind, and in the same manner southwest or northeast. Then next, here you can see the precipitation process. Then what do we mean by atmospheric pressure? So atmospheric pressure, that means the force per unit area, and if the atmospheric pressure is high, and how it is going to impact, and if atmospheric pressure is low, then how it is going to impact the weather. And the barometer is the instrument that is used to check atmospheric pressure. Then climate, yes, we know what is climate. Climate is the weather condition of a particular place for a long period of time. So this is the basic difference between weather and climate. So if the temperature of a place is particular place is hot and wet. Then in your book also you have you might have read about that how the sun plays an important role in the climate. So all changes in the weather are caused by the sun, and the distance of the sun from us is very large, but then also it is a primary source of energy, and it causes changes in the weather. Then the different climate zones. So here you can see there are 4 climate zones: alpine zone, then subtropical zone, then tropical wet zone, and tropical dry zone, and then arid zone. And in this chapter we are going to learn basically about 2 zones. One is polar region and another is tropical rainforest. So now let's move to the adaptations. So how climate and adaptations in the animals according to the climate, how they have adapted themselves. So it means the modifications they have done in their behavior as well as in their body. So adaptations are any behavioral or physical characteristics of an animal that help it to survive in its environment. So there are 3 categories: body parts, then body covering, and the behavior. So here we are going to learn in this chapter the adaptation in polar bear, then Arctic fox, then penguins. So first of on the slippery ice, very good swimmers, then a thick layer of fat which help them to keep their body warm, and as they are a very good swimmer, so they can swim for several hours without any problem. Then adaptation in Arctic fox, so they have adaptations they have round compact bodies. Then they also have thick fur on their paws which allow them to walk on both snow and ice. And number 3, they always move in a group. Their legs are short. Then adaptations in penguin. So again they have webbed feet, because we know that though penguin is a bird but it cannot fly, but it can swim. And number 2, its color is white, so it can be easily blend with the snow. And the body is streamlined, and this helps in swimming. Then adaptations in plant. So in desert plants, they have thick and waxy skin to reduce loss of water and to reflect heat. Then fleshy stems, thorns are there. Then they protect, spikes and thorns protect cacti from the animals, and they have deep roots to tap groundwater, because in desert areas there are very less rainfall. So water sources are very deep. So they do have deep roots. Then adaptations in rainforest. So here you can see the image of the bird. So it's the beak of the trees. Then the monkeys, they have long tails, so they can climb from one tree to another tree. Here you can see that this is a monkey, and another one Indian elephant. They too have adapted themselves. Large ears you can see in the image. Then teeth are modified. Then they have trunk, and the legs, they do have webbed paws also, and the large ears help them to hear from the long distances. So I hope now the chapter is clear to all of you. Thank you.
बंद हो गया आपका पूरा वीडियो।